Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome to yet another episode of the 5-Year Review. I am Raz, that is Stephen. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing all right, buddy. How you been doing?
I am alive and breathing, and for those who are just joining us now, I can tell you right now what happened on SmackDown was that Hulk Hogan returned and Ric Flair captured the NWA World Heavyweight title. So you don't need to watch the end of the show. Not our show. Our show you keep watching. Just you don't need to watch the end of SmackDown. So how you been, my friend? What's been happening?
Hey, nothing much, buddy. Kind of cold here. I know it's probably nothing compared to the north here, the Mississippi, but it's pretty cold here. It's like 34, 33 degrees on the area there.
Fair enough. That's pretty bloody cold, I'm guessing, because if I was to break that down into Celsius, it would be a hell of a lot colder than what I'm expecting. So,
Well, I'm going to get stormed Sunday, but north of me, towards like Kentucky or northern Tennessee, around that area there, they're going
yep.
to get a bad winter storm.
Fair enough. We
So,
are getting. We are currently in the midst of heat, hence why I'm in this, because it is bloody hot today. It's currently 38 degrees, which is 102, 102, I
well, I'll
think.
be getting that. Well, I'll be getting some of that heat like in late March. So.
Yeah. But it's about 102 in Fahrenheit.
About
So,
around March, yeah.
yeah. Today we are here for the Bash at the Beach episode of AEW Dynamite, the only time that they have ever been able to use the Bash at the Beach name, because it was owned by the Rhodes estate at the time. They did get in trouble with this afterwards and had to change the name to Beach Break, or I think.
Yeah, it's a Dusty Rhodes creation, right?
Yeah. WWE ended up recapping or reclaiming the copyright on it. So, or trying to reclaim the copyright
Well, they
on
got
it.
the
But
Great American Bash, too.
yeah, it was more because of Bash at the Beach. They wanted to look at it. They claimed it as it was too close to WWE's The Bash at the time. So, which WWE is just temperamental assholes. You know they've done it before, and they'll do it again. They continue to do it. It wasn't even their intellectual property. They only bought the intellectual property rights to it anyway. So at the time, and then they let the copyright lapse, and Cody wanted to use it, and Tony Khan was willing to use it, and yeah. So we do have this is the non-WWE version of Bash at the Beach. It aired on January 15th in 2020 at the Watsco Center in Miami, Florida, with a very, very jam-packed house. And this was also the week that Rocky Johnson, The Rock's grandfather, had passed away.
The Rock's dad passed away.
Oh, sorry, Rock's dad. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
The Rock's dad had passed away, which they did put up a memorial picture saying, in rest in peace, which was nice of them, clearly, because he may never have worked in their company, but still, it's good to acknowledge.
All the other wrestling promotions did the same thing, did a tribute to Rocky Johnson. It was pretty cool for all of them to do that.
Which, by the way, I don't know if you saw on this week's Dynamite, they did one to Siki as well.
They want Sika, yeah.
Yeah, they did one to Siki, the guy who passed away just this past week.
I wonder if they did the same thing to Hoppa, too, I think, too. Yeah. Hoppa and Sika passed away like a month or two apart.
Yeah. But we have a lot of multicolored action from this show, because as you can tell, now, this match is advertised as Mel and Awesome Kong versus Statlander and Hikaru Shida. But Awesome Kong was not in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome Kong gets replaced by the the one in the back, Brandy Rhodes. The reason for that is, I believe, is Awesome Kong had decided to either she got injured or she was.
I think she got pregnant.
No, that was WWE.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. What happened with Awesome Kong when she left TNA? She went to WWE, became this monster thing, and then she got pregnant and had to leave because of getting pregnant. And yeah, they couldn't continue, and she didn't end up going back afterwards. So
I guess her heart wasn't in it anymore. Reason why I guess I don't know.
I don't know. Some people just don't fit. So we also have this match, which is MJF, the Butcher, the Blade versus QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes, and DDP. We have Puck taking on Darby Allin for a spot in a number one contenders match to determine who will go to face the champion at Revolution. We have the other number one contenders spot match, which is Sammy Guevara versus Jon Moxley. So the winner of the Puck versus Darby and the Moxley versus Guevara match would go on to the next week, or the Rager at Sea, the Chris Jericho's Rock and Rager at Sea, to face each other for the number one contendership. Sorry?
The Jericho Cruise, sorry.
Yep. We'd also hear from Cody Rhodes in regards to MJF's stipulations to get towards him. And we open the show with this one here, which is a 4-team tag team match to determine the number one contenders against SCU. Once again, that match will take place on the Rock and Rager on Chris Jericho's ship. And this one was actually the opening match. So you've got the Young Bucks versus Hangman and Page versus Ortiz and Santana and the Best Friends.
Mm-hmm. That was a great match too.
Evenings. Thank you, sir. God, look at Pac's face. And Ortiz looking like a Timu Jimmy Uso. You're kind of not wrong. You're kind of not wrong.
Look who's in the chat. Hey, Anthony.
Oh, there's an ABJ here with a heart. Oh, appreciate you, ABJ. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, so this was the opening match that we had for the show. We actually had, what is it? 2, 3, 4, 5 matches in total. We had 5 matches in total, but that was our opening match.
And that was a great match too.
The Jimmy Uso we have at home. Yes, we were seeing a lot of tension building with this match for Hangman and the Elite. At the end of the day, we were seeing the building of the tension and the start of the not really the start, but it was teasing Hangman leaving the Elite. So,
yeah.
Do you know what the red heart means?
I'm afraid to ask.
See, Henry, you're going to have to fill him in. But no, overall, really good, solid match. And it was very AEW for its time.
Yeah.
Definitely one of those matches that showcased what AEW was about. It definitely gave like AEW vibes, in my opinion. So, yeah. But we did get a tease of the Elite starting to have tension because of obviously There you go, Stephen. It's an upside down bum that's been sitting in the sun too long. And look at AEW now, barely showing their tag teams.
I laugh at Ortiz every time I see Ortiz. Man, about that hair. He's all, he looks different now. All that hair. He's pretend like he's like a tiger. Keeps scratching everybody's backs and poking people in the eyes during the match.
This was one of those matches that any team could have won it. I mean, any team could have easily won the match.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I like that they went with Hangman and Kenny for the obvious reasons, but it was one of those ones that you could have had any team win the match and it would have worked perfectly fine to continue on to the next show.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say is that any team could win this match, and they could go in. It's wide open.
Yeah, I like the fact that we got the point where they almost kicked Hangman, like the Bucks almost kicked Hangman in the face at one point, teasing that little bit more tension, which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And it definitely kept up that tension, and we kept that going through we obviously get to later in the year and Kenny's turned and stuff. Best friends would have hugged SCU to death to win the belts. Probably right there, Alex. You're probably right. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
But I do like the finish, though, with Omega did the knee trigger and the Hangman clothesline at the same time.
The buckshot V trigger, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a nice finish.
I always look at the buckshot lariat and I don't understand how it works, because it always, to me, it looks so hard to do and get right, because you've got to maneuver your hands the right way. You've got to flip over that rope and you've got to have that momentum, because otherwise it just looks fucking horrendous.
I don't think him doing that 10 years from now.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, do that flip, do that Larry. He's got to do something else.
If he can't do it, CM Punk can't do it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a little stab. So after the match, we get to DDP backstage showing his yoga, and the dude is looking fucking jacked for his age. Like, the dude looks fucking jacked for his age. You have to admit that DDP looked absolutely insanely built.
He looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. We then get the fun of, where is it? Cody responding to MJF. Cody comes out, obviously, with his theme and blah, blah, blah. Arn Anderson's not with him. It's just him by himself in the ring. Excuse me, sorry.
All right, buddy.
And he shows on the screen here basically MJF's reasons. Cody goes on one of his bloody promo rants, blah, blah, blah. It's Cody.
Cody being Cody, pretty much.
Yeah. This is before he decided to get the Divas tattoo. The Divas title tattooed on his neck.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Cody being Cody, no real thing there. We then see MJF shown backstage wearing a T-shirt that says, "I banged Dallas's daughter."
Ooh.
Hey, heel heat. I mean, low-hanging fruit, but heel heat. What can you expect?
That was, if a normal father would see that, holy cow.
Yep. We then get Darby Allin and Park shown backstage, lurking around, doing nothing. And that's somewhat during a commercial break, because the way Triller TV or Fight TV works, there wasn't commercials at this point in time. It was just America goes to commercials, we go silent, and everything is shown on the screen of what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
y'all got it made over there.
yeah. Now is the visa issue era for Park. Yep. Funnily that I did read up, the last time he was seen on Dynamite was the 18th of December, and he was not at World's End.
I thought he was at the World's End because I didn't see him.
You were right. I was wrong, and I apologize on that one.
It's all right. I saw him on Rampage, though, but he wasn't on the World's End.
Yeah, that's because Rampage was pre-taped.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what's going on.
So Park lives internationally.
Yeah,
and same with Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, they have to return home for a period, and then they have to reapply for work visas and stuff like that. It's harder in America. Like for me, if I went to the UK, because my mum was born in the UK, I could easily work there and not have to leave. But
gotta be a pain
if I was to come to America, I would have to apply for a work visa. I could work only a certain amount of time, and then I'd have to leave or stop working. And I'd have to then leave and reapply, sort of thing.
It's got to be a pain in the butt if he wins the title.
I guess they work it out, and they can work it out. Obviously, international title is great because he can take that home with him and he can defend that internationally. Same with Takeshita and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We get every time he sees his visa not work, he's like, "You bastards, you bastards!"
Yeah.
We next get a promo from Joey Janela, who is bitchy at his ex-girlfriend, Penelope Ford, and so we get that promo. Clearly, that doesn't lead to Janela staying in the company because he's no longer with AEW.
Mm-hmm.
We then go to our next match, which is this one here. Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida versus Mel and Brandy Rhodes. Forget that you're seeing Awesome Kong because she was not in the match. What were your thoughts, feelings, and heart palpitations telling you in regards to this match?
I missed most of the match, to be honest with you, but I thought it'd be kind of like a squash match.
Yeah.
So I missed
it wasn't a squash. It wasn't a squash. Shida and Statlander both looked like when they were working with Mel, it was just like, why do we have to put up with this? Why do we have to work with her?
Who's this Mel wrestler? The picture sounds familiar, but is it Serena Deeb or something?
Sorry? No. So Mel was one of these crowd plants that was placed into the Nightmare Collective, and it was supposed to be this team of women, blah blah blah, that Brandy Rhodes was building and all that sort of shit, and she shaved her head to prove that she was worthy. It was essentially like what Serena Deeb did in WWE when she did the Straight Edge Society. But this Mel, she didn't last long in the company. She really wasn't that good of a worker if you watch her. Her matches were really not good. Her spots were not good. Neither was Brandy. The kicks, there was points where the kicks did not touch at all. Just things looked sloppy, and you could see it very, very easily. In the end,
go ahead.
In the end, Statlander and Sheeta win the match, and it was much for muchness, really. Yes, I do like Meat Pie C. Henry. I will have to get one of the guys to come over to Australia at some point so they can actually have an Australian meat pie. So,
and Raz over here hasn't like the biscuits and gravy in America. By the way, guys,
biscuits and gravy is wrong. It is wrong. It looks wrong. It probably tastes amazing, but looks wrong. And yes, she's the Tungaloa of punching. She is almost as bad. We then go to a Dark Order promo where they're trying to recruit any of the elite. Not bad promo. I mean, this is where the Dark Order was the Dark Order, and they were doing really, really well. We then go to Sammy Guevara versus John Moxley. A really, really solid match between the two. Mm-hmm. Clearly, Moxley was the one with getting everything strapped to his back at the time. But what can you say? Like, solid match.
Mm-hmm. This is when Sammy was still with the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, when the Dark Order was dark. Yes.
Yep.
After the match, Moxley obviously wins the match and advances to the next week to determine to face the winner of the main event. Jericho and his crew attack Moxley after the match. Jericho ends up stabbing Moxley in the eye with the spike of his leather jacket. And this is where we get the busted eye situation, which WWE ends up turning into someone's eye being popped out.
That look on Aubrey Edwards' face looked like she's going to throw up.
Yeah. I think AEW did it better because they didn't pop someone's eye out, but it's magically been pushed back in and it's healed and look like, yeah.
Like the Vader Stan Hansen.
Yeah. Although the segment, in my eyes, watching it back, went on way too freaking long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I know a lot of it was either in picture-in-picture or in a commercial break, but it went on so bloody long.
Well, Jericho took too long.
Yeah.
The Inner Circle was holding for a good amount of time at least, and Jericho was just taking his time.
Yep.
And make everybody thinking there's somebody might be coming for the save, but apparently nobody did, and he's just take too long.
We then get up to, is it this one? Yes, it is. Our multi-man match with Butcher and Blade and MJF taking on QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes, and DDP. Huge reception for DDP and for Dustin Rhodes. Shame that they couldn't get the music for DDP. They had to go with some generic music that really did not suit his style. But
that Nirvana type song.
Yeah. Not a super fantastic match because of the age of DDP and working with the guys, but it wasn't too bad. MJF scores the win with a roll up on QT Marshall. Nothing super fantastic to note from that.
I think it was starting to plant the seeds for a QT heel turn at that time too.
I think so, yeah. We then go to backstage segment with Hangman and SCU discussing about the tag titles. And we go to our main event of the evening, which is, where the fuck is it? Darby Allin versus Pac for the number 2 for the number 1 contenders match. So for the second position in the number 1 contenders match. God damn, They make things difficult, don't they?
Yeah, look like Pac's about ready to sneeze with that picture.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He looks like he looks like he's literally curling up just for the sneeze. It's insane. That face. Who gave him?
Only Alex right there.
Not a bad match.
No,
definitely like your standard derby match where he tries to do 1,001 different things and get the crazy spots in. So there is that. Puck ends up with the win here, and he will go on to face Moxley on the Jericho Cruise, which apparently,
steps.
Yeah, which is apparently a continuation of the Bash at the Beach, but I think they change it before the next episode of Dynamite airs because of the legal ramifications from WWE. So
yeah,
long fucking drawn out bullshit.
Yeah.
All in all, I'd rate this a 2.5.
2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, 2.5 out of out of 5.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go any higher.
I'm being too nice.
Yeah. Like, it was good, don't get me wrong, but it's also hard to watch them back and see how things have changed, and it's hard to watch weekly wrestling back. Like, pay-per-views are a different story because pay-per-views are usually where it's good quality wrestling and things will advance. Watching weekly shows back again is very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
That's why next week we're not going to be here because we've got some other commitments to take care of next week. But I'm thinking when we come back
2 weeks from now.
Yep. In 2 weeks' time, I'm thinking we look at a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view? Okay.
Question is, which one?
Well, if you want to do a pay-per-view, you might as well do the first one.
All in?
Yeah, might as well. If you're gonna do start doing do a pay-per-view, first pay-per-view, I might as well do the first one.
Okay, if we're doing the first ever AEW pay-per-view, it's not actually All In. The first ever AEW pay-per-view was Double or Nothing. Because All In doesn't fall under All In falls under ROH because AEW wasn't a company then, because it was an ROH New Japan combination show. But Double or Nothing is the first one, so I'm happy to do that if you want to.
Sure, I'm up for it. Yeah,
cool. Okay, there you go. Our first pay-per-view review for the 5-year in 2 weeks' time. So what date is that? That is the 18th.
Yeah,
16th for me. The 17th for you.
Yeah.
Okay. 17th for America, 18th for Australia and UK. It will be a review of AEW's first ever pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, which was at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
Say it 10 times fast.
No.
But anyway, after this pay-per-view chat, if there's any episode or any pay-per-view y'all want to watch, or you want us to watch and nitpick and
and choose segments from, we're more than happy to do that. So we're going to get out of here. That's the end of this review today. I mean, really wasn't much in this episode to review. So
yeah.
But we will be back in 2 weeks' time, the 18th of January. If you want to see us, we do have a Discord. We will
17th in America, it's 18th in Australia.
Yep. I believe we'll be back for the post show this week as well.
Yeah. Post show will be on
the 8th for America, the 9th for Australia.
We got that casino gauntlet match for the winner.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been Raz. That's been Steven. And
bye, guys.